And I'm telling you, fucking, these fucking scumbags are pissing me off so fucking bad. And I'm not one to get really angry. I have such a good, calm temper that I really don't get pissed unless it's justified anger, unless it, and then I could use, if the anger is something valid and valuable, that I could use it as productive anger, because it's got to be meaningful for me to hold on to anger anyway. I mean, we all could get pissed off at something, but I usually could let it go. And if I'm going to hold on to anger, it better be something that is rightful, like where I have the right to the anger, and it has to have substance. And this does, as far as what I am experiencing. And it's also really hard to tolerate when the law, as far as too many officers who don't believe in something that is very real and is going on. That's why in one of the videos that I've been making, I'm actually making it very clear that I do believe that there are some amount of these satanic people. They've been doing it for centuries. So yeah, some are born into where their mothers are witches, and they're raised to, some of them, to become cops, so they can be stitched into, like the way I put that, as far as witchcraft and stitching, that they're stitched into the system, and to be cops who have the ability to push it in. This is a term that witches use, to push it into the other police to, in their way, the way that they do it, to not believe in witchcraft and Satanism and the things that they actually are very, very active in in their reality. It's very real, by the way, very real. And it's very frustrating to know, when you know what's going on, you know what's real, and police don't. So, and some do, but they will all act the same, whether they are the good cops who have been made to not believe and to shrug it off and to not listen to any of it as if it's all nonsense, and that, whoever's coming in with that is just crazy to report something that has anything to do with witchcraft. And then the rest of them, well, they are involved in the whole thing. So, and that's probably a small percent. I'm not going to say that it's 50-50, but even if it's 10% of the force that are these satanic evil people, that is enough to have the power to make. I already said it. And the thing is that, so I'm not accusing here. I love the police. I depend on the police to protect me, and I won't carry a gun, and I don't want to. I can't imagine doing what they do, because it's just not in me to be able to use a weapon and to kill or whatever. I just don't have it in me, and I'm grateful for those who do. and and if I need them, I've never seen any real action like that go down. I've never even seen anybody killed in my entire life, and I'm grateful for that. But then again, I'm not really. I'd probably go into shock if I ever did see it. I have a weakness with that, but I feel like I'm a pretty strong person considering the shit that I'm tolerating right now with all these evil scumbags that I'm dealing with. It's hard. All I'm saying is it's really difficult to know about something that the police apparently don't know about. That's just, you would think that would be impossible. And, so when I go into all these stations and I speak with so many different officers, I get the same response from all of them, but at this point, I really have to think about it, and I don't know which ones are and which ones I do know, but they're going to act like it's a bunch of bullshit, and then the ones who think it's a bunch of bullshit, and that needs to be said. But the real reason that I'm making this recording right now in this state of anger that I'm in is because of the people, the initial thing that happened 20 years ago when I first called 911 is I was living in an apartment where my ex and it was run by another girl, and what they did there was massage, which is illegitimate massage because they're giving massages with happy endings, and I think we all know what that is, and there is a lot of it in LA especially, and I never imagined that I would talk shit. I'm just angry right now, and I hold back and I don't talk shit about the things that these girls do and the things that they have told me when they thought I would get involved with them, and I wouldn't get involved, and that's what started more of this, what they're threatening me with. Because they did threaten me in the beginning when I told they made it very clear that if I'm not going to be involved with them, then I might as well consider myself dead because of what the things that I know about, and they figured I'd be very scared, and regardless of whether I'm scared or not, that is not going to stop me from justice and from doing the right thing and turning them in. And when I tried, lo and behold, the police focused more on me than on them as far as it was just so crazy, okay? So I don't know who's what and the influence that they have, but what I mean by influence they have is like whether they have over the police or the police over them. Here's the thing. When I say I never imagined that I would shit talk, is that, I never wanted to diss my ex or these girls in any way. And, they were taking care of me. So, I lived off of it too, I'm no angel or saint or whatever, and we've all heard that cliche. But, but to go as far as what they do, are you kidding me? So here's the thing, and I'm just going to say it. I'm probably going to go over the 10 minutes on this one. But they have gone as far as to tell me that early on, when we were supposedly friends, that and they involved me big time by giving me their little secrets and laughter during conversations of how they do have some of their clients are some police officers and who know what they're doing ever, but the police officers come in they get along great, but they do at least the same they do as regular clients, and which would involve a minimal of a hand job. And as far as to my knowledge, they fuck their clients as well, big time. Okay, these girls will do whatever. And I never came out of the room that I lived in when I lived in 11101, where they were doing it in apartment 101. But so I never I witnessed any of it, but you could hear it going on, and the men that come in, so they, I don't know if the police are offering them, knowing that what they do is illegal, offering them extra protection or what, or how the politics of all that works, but that is part of what, I don't want to accuse, I just hate that, but that is a part of what, how they would express that to me nonchalantly. I mean, letting me know that that they do have this kind of relationship with the police, and they feel very powerful. These girls feel really powerful, having that. Hold on, police, as if they have more power than the police, because they think they can blackmail the cops or whatever. But the cops, they believe that they have the power over the girls, and I believe that the police do have more of the power. But when you're hanging out with these girls, boy, they talk up a storm, and they think that they've got all the power in the world, and that's based on the other shit that they tell me about the really hardcore shit, and how they I'm just going to come right out with it, and I will testify to this in a court of law if I ever have to. And it just sucks because I feel like I'm betraying their trust, but they have for the last 20 years gone way, way beyond betraying the trust. I mean, they have fucked me up so fucking bad, and they laugh because I can't get anybody to believe me. And here I am still not wanting to do the same to them, because I don't seek revenge. I do seek justice, but I do not seek revenge, and I do not want these girls to harmed in any way. I don't want them to be, I just want everybody to be happy. That's where I'm at, but that's just not the case. No, they don't care about that with me, and I'm just going to say it as it is. They fucking talk about the men that they have, how many men that their clients have come in, that they have taken their information and have called their wives and brought their wives in to be witches, and they give them the food. I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but the cannibalism is fucking real. And it's time for cops and people to wake up and realize that, because I can prove it. If people would just give me the chance, I can prove it. Okay? And I know that early on, I know what I was even fed. And oh my God, I can't. But I know what they do, and I know how they do it, as far as the power of real hardcore Satanism and witchcraft. And I can prove it if especially cops would wake up and realize how real this is. I'm not fucking crazy, and I can't be labeled as crazy when I can prove what I can prove. I'm not some crazy person who has some conspiracy theory going on, where when I have names, I have proof, okay? And I also can't be labeled crazy unless I am proven crazy. So it's one proof against another, prove me wrong. And it starts with that apartment, and I'm going there in only a few hours with some letters, and I'll be going live on YouTube in only a few hours from now, you'll see me there at this apartment building, with some information. You'll get it. But and this is probably a really dangerous time for me to go. If I do upload this recording. If I upload this recording that I'm making now and I shoot straight over there, I mean, I could be killed for this. because, and there are so many people involved in this, so many people involved in this. And so what I'm saying here is that they call clients' wives and they tell the wives what's going on and that they can prove whatever. And the wives are really, really quick to say yes, to be able to listen to their husband's mind. When they do eat the food, and we'll get into what I mean by that, they feed a little bit to their husbands. Their husbands will not know. And by doing that, because there is a real spiritual value in that and a very real energy that I can also prove, and all you have to do is use common sense, and the wife will literally be able to hear her husband's thoughts, and she will see that her husband has been going into these girls and getting fucking whatever level of sex they're getting, cheating on their wives and paying for it. And then the wife becomes a witch, and she has her ways of getting in his head and forcing him into suicide. And he becomes either a meal, he becomes a sacrifice, and even possible food, depending on what they're going to use it for. And then she's a witch, and and this is a reality, and this is happening. And a lot of fucking people, there's millions of people who do know, but they put their index finger over, you see it, and they go, shh. That's their big fucking secret, by the way, okay? Is shh, keep it hush hush. They have the power to get in your fucking mind and get your fucking PIN numbers. They'll get your fucking passwords, and they'll fucking steal your identity. So you should want to hear this truth, and you should want to back me up on this, because you should want, with all the desire you have, to know that it's true instead of thinking that I'm fucking crazy, because it could be you who falls victim to them stealing your identity, because they depending on what you're eating, believe it or not, is most likely if you, it's crazy. And I could get into what I mean by that. If anybody ever takes interest in it, I can tell more and more. I'm putting my life out on the line by doing this, but it has to be done, and other people should put their life should join in with me, because I could tell you this. I really believe no matter how badass they think they are with their Satanism, whatever, I believe they're more afraid of me than I am of them, and they'll be more afraid of you as well. They think they're so badass because they make victims out of people, but if you refuse to be a victim, they're gonna get really scared, and they're gonna find it very, very difficult to hurt you. Okay, so you got to just do it, and you got to change the level of wherever the police are at with this. How could the police not believe something that is so active and real? Well, it's because the Satanists, they have a certain amount of control. They have a way of keeping it all a secret, because it seems so impossible. You either know about it or you do not know about it, and many people know about it because they're involved. And the people who know, and then or you're dead. They get people to commit suicide all the time. You either and if you become victims of torture. And that's what's going on. That's why there are victims right now who lock themselves into a room a long time ago, and they are surviving. And the only thing is that I'm putting it in this, it's going to be kind of a contradiction based on this letter. You'll see that I'm giving they already know, so I'll explain all that, what this contradiction is, as far as the victims being deceased with their remains in a wall. This is what I'm saying, and then me contradicting that and saying that they're alive. It's it's something that I have to do in order just to show how much resistance I'm getting as far as proving something. To to get to the evidence is just incredibly difficult. So I can't imagine what I'm having to do, and I get nothing out of it except peace of mind. And I don't know, but I am not kidding about just how evil these fucking bitches are. They there is just so much more to tell. So much. I mean, I could go on and on and on with information on them, and from their little sarcastic ways of being little black widows or whatever they want to call it, like how they love to devour the man, and all their power tripping, all the way to their thinking that they're going to have political dominance really soon, and that they're taking over. I mean, they really are serious in so many ways, and meanwhile, I think they're really truly losing it, and at least with me, I think they're truly going out of their minds, because they're so caught up in they're caught up in a realistic fairy tale, and that's how they laugh. They think it's funny that I go in and try to make reports that are going to be considered not realistic, unbelievable. They're going to 5150 me, things like, then they get a kick out of that, because they live in a world of reality that is make-believe, and I think that they're getting caught up in their own fairy tale being that is real, that they're turning into like characters. They as they think that they could fool everybody all of the time. But I would love to see them in a courtroom under the pressure of good judges, good attorneys, wanting the real truth, not and without they're going to lose their power of persuasion, because that's another thing they do with their spiritual power from their cannibalism, is they know how to push it in. And what I mean by push it in, I could explain that, and maybe you kind of who hears this, I understand what I mean by that. But they push it in and use their power of persuasion through their mind power, and they really are able to do this. And people need to wake up and put a little bit of belief in it. I mean, look around. You're living in a world of, that at one time wouldn't have been believed just hundreds of years ago in the Wild West here. If you were told some of your cowboy friends, in the Wild West, what the future was going to be like and what we have today, sure, most of them are going to look at you and say, "That's impossible. What, you crazy? That's not going to exist here on this planet." And there are many examples, like metal tubes flying people through the air, all the way to what these devices are that we could speak to people, all over the world through. This did not exist at one time, and if you were a cowboy and you told another cowboy about the things that we have today, if you told it to an atheist cowboy who didn't believe in God at all, or any kind of mumbo jumbo or hocus pocus, and you told one of those cowboys about the devices we have today, most of those atheists would be like, "Man, I'd believe in God before I'd believe in that you're going to have these, what you call, cell phones and airplanes. I'd believe in God before I'd believe in that, homeboy, whatever the fuck, and they'll tell you, I'm not even religious, and hocus pocus, I believe in, hocus pocus before I believe in all that." Well, we live in all that now. And what I'm telling you right now is a matter of perspective and a matter of truth. So get it. And I just gave you some information that could possibly get me hurt. So I hope you could appreciate it. And I'll give you more. But show some initiative. And, really, I mean, that's it. We're at 25 minutes and I'm done with this recording.